I have only seen the trailer for this Netflix version of Good Times that Seth MacFarlane, for some reason, is producing. It stars J.B. Smoove from Curb Your Enthusiasm. It is supposed to be based on the grandson of John Evans from the classic Good Times sitcom from the 1970s. Um, the trailer is rough. A lot of people are unhappy with this trailer. Let's play about 30, 40 seconds of it because this could turn out to be a disaster for all parties involved. It's coming to Netflix. It's a cartoon updated version of Good Times. Here we go.
I have important news.
Let me guess. The state called and they want to cut you a disability check for your face. Hold up. You can get paid for that?
This is from a fool who stares at his orange juice every morning.
It says concentrate on the box. Who the dummy now? Shit. Me for not wearing a condom. Shadows fall over.
Some pretty basic hacky jokes I've heard a million times.
Let's play a little bit more, B Show.
It all started with my grandfather, James Evans. My job as the man of this house is to take care of this family no matter what.
I just want to let you know I'm going to take good care of Gray.
Gray, who is this I'm about to kill?
Juan, my boyfriend. Daddy, let him go.
Baby, you. She come with me.
Woman Lear.
Junior's repeating the 10th grade for the 3rd time.
Is there anything you can suggest to help him get to the drive-thru?
Can you do OnlyFans? Take off your shoes. Let me see what kind of feet you working with.
Okay.
Is that Wanda Sykes?
Yes, it's Wanda Sykes, JB. There's very famous people involved in this. The jokes don't get any funnier. They just don't. A lot of people found this to be very racist, to be very portraying stereotypes. It is getting destroyed on social media. Like negative doesn't even begin to cover. People are viciously saying this looks like a highly inappropriate, out of date caricature based on a very classic TV show. Shah, your thoughts looking at this for the first time?
I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but I think people are reaching because, I mean, what's the difference between this and the Boondocks?
Well, Boondocks isn't on anymore either, Shah.
Yeah, but that's a beloved show. Like, people love that.
It's not beloved by everybody. It was polarizing at the time, for damn sure.
I know a lot of black people that love that show.
Me too. I know a lot of people, period, that love that show. But the Boondocks, I think, was a little bit more funnier, and less hacky, relying on. They were turning, I think, Aaron Magruder was turning sort of the stereotypes around, like he was exposing it. You know what I mean? Uncle Ruckus was a beloved character, but he was a racist black guy against black people. I mean, this looks this. I also think because why is Seth MacFarlane doing this? Probably is part of it. So, Shah, you think people are reaching?
I mean, people are allowed to feel how they feel. Me personally, I don't see any difference between this and the Boondocks or many other shows that people. I mean, I would understand if it was a bunch of white people doing the voices, but clearly, Wanda Sykes, they didn't have a problem with this.
No, of course not. But they got paid a lot of money, I'm sure too. B-Show, your thoughts there.
It's funny Joseph Moore brings up the PJs because that's the vibe I got. It just seemed like a less funny version of the PJs. I mean, who's saying it's offensive? I mean, sure. If you think it is,
a lot of black people on the internet.
Well, I'm saying if you feel like it's perpetuating
stereotypes, it's probably mostly white
fine.
people, man.
No, it is not.
People love
no, it is not. Go on Twitter, my friend. It is not.
Middle class white women with horoscope charts on their walls.
No, it is not. Not what I've seen. Not what I've seen.
Well, if that's the case, then fine. Then if you're talking about perpetuating stereotypes, then fine. You could be offended by that.
I think some people are upset with the physical caricatures. And by the way, it'll take you 3 seconds to find, people on Twitter who are not white saying this is abominable. Like, this is terrible. Like, why is this a thing? It's not the pearl clutching middle-aged white liberal people, taking a break from whatever the fuck they're complaining about. I just saw a lot of black comedians and people with podcasts being like, what the fuck is this? This is awful. I
just don't understand why we don't keep the same energy towards like other shit that's in music. You know what I mean? Like, we just talked about the guy going on somebody's grave and fucking. Why aren't people mad about that? Like, why aren't you mad about that? That's super offensive.
Just look at some of the visuals here. I'm just saying, if you want to play another like 10, 20 seconds of it, go ahead.
This is half the women look like nowadays
Man,
with
my mouth
BBLs and
ready for
shit.
milk
though.
right
So
now.
it's like
Dalvin, why are you so breast
Instagram
obsessed?
models,
It's
dude.
childish, man.
Bruh, I'm a baby. I can't get no more childish than that. In a nocturnal state of mind.
Your neighborhood is a real shithole.
It's the system. They put the guns and drugs on the streets.
Underneath this black, black sky.
This is getting dangerous. I won't just sit back and let you put yourself in harm's way. I love you too very much.
Everything black.
The revolution will not be televised.
Is this supposed to be Chicago?
Rosa Parks, can't you just enjoy
Oh, look, that's
this?
you know who that is there, right?
Yeah.
Dave Farrell, Wanda Sykes, a
back
lot of
to that.
famous people in this. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they do an Elon thing here. Listen, it's not for me to say, but it does look a little rough. Like, I don't know, man. Even if you look at some of these Netflix comments, this is getting destroyed. And again, it's not the typical white people are upset for other people's shit. It's like most of the people I've seen share this topic, there's not a single one of them is white, not even a little bit, from that perspective. They, I mean, look at these videos. Look at guys, this is like tons of people being like, this is awful. Like, this is terrible. Bisho, it's, but that's the thing too. I think maybe, I don't know if it's a combination of the jokes being terrible and hacky and the caricatures looking slightly offensive possibly to people. Do you think it's a mixed bag? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think when you frame it in the context of what Good Times was back in the day, it was
Yeah.
breaking barriers. They weren't falling into like racial
Oh my God, legendary
They-
show.
They would
love
tell
Good Times.
stories of like the culture, but it wasn't like this. So
Yeah.
I can understand if people say, "Oh wait, hey, Good Times. Wait, what the fuck is this?"
Well,
I
imagine
like
if
this
this was
comment though.
positive.
If you've seen the movie Bamboozled, is exactly what they were talking about. An all-black show starring black people going through quote unquote black situations written by people who aren't black.
Wow.
That's hard to argue. Man.
Yeah. Now, by the way, some of our people in our chat, have opinions about this. Like Marquise is saying, I'm not offended, but it's definitely not funny. You know what I mean? And and I think that, and Chris Matthews says, I don't get offended easily, but this offended me. And that's what I'm saying. It just seems like, it just seems like it just seems like a time when this wouldn't be happening. I think possibly is what I think maybe a lot of people say. It's like, why is this happening now? Like, this is a weird time for this to be happening now, Shah. You know what I mean? Like,
Negativity sells, dude. If this was a positive show, no one would be talking about it.
yeah. And by the way, Chris Matthews pointed out this is why John Amos left the show originally in the 70s.
Wow.
Wow, that's heavy, man. So listen, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Netflix could possibly pull it. It's getting terrible. Bisho, can we look and see if it's got any reviews? Because that would really be a telltale sign. But I could tell you if you go on Twitter or TikTok or Instagram, there are a lot of people who are not white who think this is awful, and they're not being shy about it.
Well, and here's a headline. I just Googled it. Good Times original cast. Hollywood Reporter says Good Times original cast reacts to the animated reboot. The quote is, "I thought it was going to be different." So I think that's part of it too. I think if this was originally like a reboot of the Boondocks, I don't think people would have as big a problem with it.
Boondocks is awesome. I mean, I loved Boondocks. Everybody loved Uncle Ruckus was, just a classic character. But it was also, it was a part of it. I don't know, Shah. I mean, you know what? Maybe we should watch it and see. Also maybe it just says, dropped dirt says Shah says I'm out.
Well, I think the main issue probably, is that Seth MacFarlane is behind. Like if Dave Chappelle did this,
Norman
I don't think
Lear,
people would
but
be
Norman
saying
Lear
it.
is 100 years old, so
yeah.
And
Like imagine if Dave Chappelle did this. Do you think people would be offended by it?
That's a good. You know what, Shah? That's an excellent question. I don't know. I
don't think people would be.
Well, Dave Chappelle's not exactly everybody's favorite guy. I mean, there's a lot of comedians, by the way, a lot of non-white comedians who are kind of done with Chappelle.
Yeah, but he feeds into stereotypes. He makes fun of black stereotypes. He makes fun of Asian stereotypes. Like I can see Dave Chappelle doing a show like this.
Yeah, but look, I love JB Smoove. Wanda Sykes, very funny person. I don't know. And that Chris saying, look, this is a trailer. The show could be different. We also need. I think we'll see. The show will tell the tale. But classic Good Times. Looks like the people from the cast are a little unhappy with it because that was a groundbreaking show. I mean, I'm the only person, to my knowledge, in this conversation that was around in the 70s when Good Times was a network show. It was the only black show on television. I mean, it was it. That was the show, and it bore a very heavy responsibility. You know what I mean? And it dealt with look. The first time I ever saw anything about child abuse, guns, was all on that show, B show, and for a lot of white America, that was an introduction to like Project Life and Cabrini Green and like stuff that they really didn't know anything about.
Yeah, and it was more wholesome than anything else, really. It was, as someone on Rotten Tomatoes put it, it was a window into a world that a lot of people hadn't gotten to see.
Yeah.
And I just watched an episode on TikTok, ironically enough, about 3 months ago, and it was either I don't remember John Amos's character's name, the dad, but
James.
his James, yeah. So
Put some
his
respect on that
brother,
name.
sorry, his his brother or his friend came back into town and was like asking him for money on Halloween, and like there was a bunch of weird shit happening. And it's like, man, this is going on in the 70s, and they're like, it's not heavy-handed like step by step on TGIF on Friday night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
goofball shit, but it was a good show that I guess was trying to be wholesome and leave a good example. So that's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
maybe people are more mad about that.
And of course, like for me, I still remember when Penny was getting abused by her mother on Good Times. It was Janet Jackson and Lenona. What the fuck was her name? I forget. It's a long time ago. Like the mother was gonna burn her with an iron. Like I was like fucking
Mhm.
8 years old, man, and my parents used to fucking knock the shit out of us. But I saw a girl about to get burned with an iron on network television on a fucking comedy. You know what I mean? And John Amos every week would beat the children off camera. That was a thing. He
Yeah.
would take his belt off and be like, JJ, you know what time it is? He goes, oh, my ass is gonna be hurting, whatever. And then he would come back out and be like, man. And then like he was like, I didn't want to have to do that to you, son. Like, I don't know. It just we went from that to these jokes, hacky jokes and long fingernails and big titty jokes and shit. Like, I don't know. You know what, Shot? When it comes out, we should probably review it and at least watch an episode. What do you guys think? You want to do that?
Yeah, I'll watch an episode or two.
All right, B show. We'll all
I have
pick
to
when it
force
comes out.
myself.
Yeah, we'll watch at least the first episode and then we'll discuss it.